Hey guys, what's going on? Super MKS here with part 2 of my plans for Tuesdays. Again, I know not everything I include will begin with T. A lot of it's about entrepreneurship, supporting banking in Africa, banks to support African technology and things like that. And this is just a rough guide, as I say. I may or may not mention point 1. This is just a rough guide, so it's not necessarily that I'll exactly do it like this, but or plan like this, but it's a sort of rough guide to help me to organise myself with all my ideas and thoughts. I think dyslexic people have unique ideas, and we think a lot and we have a lot of ideas. I've heard a lot of people say it's not your ideas, it's how much action you take. So I mean, that's one of the things why I wanted to take action and make on YouTube, because I've always had these ideas but not really been much taking action on them. So that's what I've heard. But I have heard like Steve Ballmer, who's one of the co-founders of Microsoft, say ideas matter. So he had a video about ideas matter, and I'd love to discuss with my fellow dyslexics what they think about some of these ideas, and again, people of colour and so forth, especially from the Black community in October, and also how we can empower disabled people. I love to network with people and share ideas like how we can help physically, mentally, and learn disabled people to become financially independent. Possibly YouTube might be a way to do that. Again, supporting each other's YouTube videos and sharing ideas. In the past, I've had these ideas, and I've never wanted to share them with. I've only wanted to share them with certain groups which I hoped to encourage to network together. I kind of still have the same goal because of copyright and all that sort of stuff. But I was thinking, like, do dyslexic people have different ideas to? I'd love to hear what dyslexic entrepreneurs who have achieved great success, what they think about ideas. Like one dyslexic was saying, a lot of non-dyslexic people don't like or get my ideas, even the ones that, as he put it, are good. So, and I'm hoping, like, if I get permission, or even with their support, I can react to some of the Dyslexic Advantage and Made by Dyslexia videos. I think they're really good about dyslexia. Anyway, I've waffled on for 2 minutes, so I'm going to try and crack on with the list, because otherwise it's going to be really long. So please forgive me if I go quite fast. I'll try and break it down as best I can. And from next Tuesday, as I say, next week, I'm going to be just talking about how to, hopefully, like things like how to implement these ideas. I may or may not do 30-point lists next week. I might just talk for like a few minutes, or maybe even 10 minutes or so, and then try and keep my videos to about 10 minutes, perhaps, or even less. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to try and get this to you. But anyway, point 11, I hope to support innovators, ideas people, inventors, and so forth from the Black community, especially in Africa. Again, possibly to support 30 inventors or profile them, hear their stories, and that kind of thing. And it's like, why is Black history important? Because I think one of the things is we often think about, in society, especially in the West, we often think about famous, or we think about inventors or people like that. We very rarely think about Black inventors or inventors of colour or things like that. So I think that's why it's important. And I hope to support dyslexic inventors as well around the world, and to change people's perception, as I said before in my previous videos, about dyslexic people. And we can be quite inventive, innovative, creative, out-of-the-box thinkers, and we might not be the best academically, but if given the support and encouragement, we can be great entrepreneurs. I know this, I've seen the statistics and all that, like 20% of self-made millionaires in the UK and 35% in the US are dyslexic, so it shows we can do well. And I've heard quite a few famous and successful dyslexics who you'd probably be surprised are dyslexic when you hear about their successes and how they've worked incredibly hard, or smart, or whatever, or both, to achieve what they've done. I'm sure they're very hardworking as well, like Richard Branson, Duncan Valentine, Theo Fetis, Peter Jones. Many people might have heard of these, like from the Dragon's Den, and there's loads on the Shark Tank as well. I've talked about it in my previous videos, so without risk of repeating myself. But yeah, they've done really well, so it shows what we can do. I'm going to move on because I don't want it, as I say, to be too long. 12. On that note, I hope to have to encourage mentors to go to Africa to teach, to go to all possible parts of Africa to teach about tech and entrepreneurship and all that. I'd love to visit as many African countries as I could. If I could, like, I still have a bit of phobia of flying, but I'd love to be able to go to as many African countries as I could, especially to dyslexic-friendly schools and to do conferences on dyslexia, events on dyslexia and things like that, and go to schools and write my ideas on a whiteboard and talk about famous dyslexics and what can inspire dyslexic people to achieve their potential and help others. And also, as I say, I'd love to encourage people like Richard Branson to set up his own entrepreneurship centres for dyslexic kids in Africa and Asia and places like that. So I really hope by sharing this idea, somehow I can work together with others to make these things happen. Possibly people who are more practical than me. But anyway, please post any questions in the comments below as well, and I'll try and get to them as well. 13, I hope to, I'll say 13 is my unlucky number, so I think about some of the negative things, like how I wish to have achieved more when I was younger and things like that, and some of the problems facing Africa and the black community and dyslexic people as well, on the negative side as well, because I think life is about balance. Sometimes there's negatives as well as positives. Anyway, 14, again, about how dyslexic people can solve problems. I mentioned in point 1 about dyslexic people solving problems and things like that, and being good problem solvers. Hope to work together to look at how we can solve some of the problems in Africa. Like if we help entrepreneurship and technology, which are key areas, then hopefully we can solve a lot of poverty, make Africa work together, create jobs, employment and opportunities where we can solve poverty and Africans can work together on climate change and that. And as I was saying, I think that if you get academics to work on things like climate change, sometimes you'd be surprised, even though they're smart academically, they might not be the best at solving problems. And whilst I admire their academic ability and all that, I think that sometimes if you get dyslexic people who sometimes even didn't even do that well at school, they can do great things. And I think it would be dyslexic people probably who will solve problems like climate change, terrorism or things like that, or at least look at how we can counterbalance the effects. One of the ideas I had, I don't know how it would work practically, but I thought where there's excess rain, if there's something that could trap that rain and take it to areas where there are droughts. So if there was some way to do that scientifically, I think that would help a lot of places where there's flooding and also help places where there's droughts at the same time. But again, I'm not that good at science, unfortunately, so I don't know how that would work. But if there was some sort of net or something that could trap excess rain so it doesn't cause flooding, again, helps areas with drought. I don't know if I'm making sense. But anyway, 15, once again, hope to hear and listen to the dreams and goals of both the black and dyslexic community globally, like what their career goals, especially from a young age, and how we can help people to have higher goals and achieve things they never thought possible. 16, please share this video and these videos with dyslexic people and people of colour, especially the black community, and or people of colour generally anyway, and hopefully we'll work together to look at how we can implement some of these ideas. And some people are talking about, I'd love to have suggestions about how we can best implement these ideas and put them to practice, and other people's ideas and things like that as well. 17, I hope to look at how dyslexic ideas and imagination can, if we encouraged, how we can make the world a better place and things like that. 18, I hope to hear from positive stories about success stories from black and stroke or dyslexic entrepreneurs who will make other black and stroke or dyslexic people proud. 19, again, I hope to help Africa in technology, to lead technology by collaborating with others. And 20, I hope for all possible people in Africa to learn about technology and to network together, solving problems, creating opportunities in enterprise, entrepreneurship, jobs, and things like that. And I'm surprised this video is less than 10 minutes, but I think that covers point 2. I don't want to waffle, can't think of too many other things. I wanted to make my video 10 minutes exactly, but I'll probably be just waffling. So anyhow, hope you enjoyed that. I really appreciate any support and all that kind of stuff. Love you guys, folks. And I hope that God will bless everyone who supports my channel. Thanks.